Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on Cobbler's Vlogs. We're back with another opposition preview where we talk to an opposition fan, get the lowdown on the opposition ahead of the next game. Obviously tomorrow night we take on Oxford United. We are going to find out if they're the best team in League One in just a moment. But first of all, hello to everybody that's watching. Hello to everybody that is watching this back as a video. And if you're watching live, an extra special warm welcome to you. Please do make sure you hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't seen my face on your screen before. We're joined by Dale, who is an Oxford United fan and journalist, we could say, as well. How you doing, mate? Welcome along to the show.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Pleasure having you on. Hopefully we can chat all things Cobblers and Oxford United. I see Jason Rodhouse is here in the comments. If I can actually press the button. Welcome to him. That reminds me, Jason Rodhouse is one of our fantastic Patreon supporters. And I've had a very special delivery today, Patreon supporters. The mugs have arrived. Your very exclusive rewards. Your snazzy little... There they are, Cobbler's Vlogs mugs. We must stress that they are for Bovril drinking only, because that is the only drink that you can drink at half time. That's something we've got to get your opinion on, Dale. Are you a fan of Bovril at a football match?
I'm on the fence. I'm not going to lie. I'm on the fence. Sorry for that answer, but yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I love a good Bovril, so yeah, that's my half-time snack. I also remember, to be fair, last time I went to Oxford, I did do some very good pies as well, so I'll give you that. But the first thing we need to find out is, obviously, you claimed you were the best team in League Two back in 2016, even though we won the title. Are you now the best team in League One?
At the moment, no. I think we've got the potential, but yeah, not quite yet.
You've got, to be fair, you've also got just as much of an annoying manager in charge in Carl Robinson in terms of kind of winding up opposition fans. So just Oxford ticking all the boxes there, and we'll kind of get on to your opinion of us later on in the video. Hello to Jim Lewis as well. Jack Tong are in the chat. Luke NTFC's here. Great to have you all with us. Jason says he loves a half-time Bovril, and Jason is one of our patrons. He's going to get one of these mugs. So Jason, if your first drink in this thing isn't a Bovril, what are you doing? Okay, right. Let's actually talk about football, because we've been here for 3 minutes and I've just talked about Bovril and taking the mick out of Oxford, which isn't what we're here to do. Dale, obviously, last season, the Cobblers, we went up through the playoffs. We had this big extravaganza where we were 2-0 down against Cheltenham, came back 1-3-2 in the second leg of the semi-final, and then absolutely thumped Exeter 4-0 at Wembley. Obviously, you had it the other way round. I think it was Portsmouth you played in the semis, and then you went on to play Wycombe in the final. I just want to try and get your experience of that, because obviously during lockdown you couldn't go either. How was that playoff experience for you?
I mean, yeah, obviously you don't want to lose a playoff final, obviously, and I think it was the first time we'd ever got to a playoff final in the Football League. We obviously got to the playoff final in the conference in 2010 and got promoted. But yeah, so to lose in the final is obviously disappointing. Obviously, we played Portsmouth in the two semis. Both of them games ended 1-1, so that could have gone either way as well. We went through on penalties in the end. But yeah, the Wycombe game, I mean, obviously you guys didn't play Wycombe last year, but you'll probably be playing them next year. Just the way they play football, and it's just the complete opposite to us. And to be, they deserved it on the day. It's one of them. But it's frustrating from our point of view. We tried to play football. I think we had about 72% possession for the whole game. They took the lead and just kind of shut up shop, really. So that was it. But yeah, it's frustrating, obviously, especially not being able to go as well.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Oxford and Oxford and Wycombe, I was quite not surprised to see in the final, but I was like, well, they're two sort of teams that have always been at the same or a similar level to the Cobblers. They've never kind of been in the league above, and if they have, it's not the Cobblers have soon sort of caught them up and got into the same league. And I think Oxford and Wycombe, two teams that maybe we should aspire to be like in terms of moving forward, establishing ourselves as a League One club, because obviously the grounds are similar. Both of our grounds only seem to have 3 sides. Well, ours is sort of maybe 3.5. And obviously Wycombe, their ground is obviously a bit bigger than ours, but in terms of just everything about them, it's kind of very similar to us. Let's talk about ever since that playoff final. You obviously started a new season. It's fair to say you had a pretty bad start to this season, didn't you?
It's Yeah, so it's quite a common theme under Carl Robinson, to be honest. This is his third season in charge, and every season we've started slowly. I think we lost 7 of the first 10 games this season, and from obviously our ambition is obviously playoffs again because we got there last year. But picking up 3 wins from the opening 10 games, you're playing catch up from the start. Fortunately, we've been able to catch up, and we're only 3 points outside the playoffs now. But yeah, it was another bad start. It just puts you back a bit.
And I think we'll get onto the reverse fixture in just a minute, but I think that has kind of turned your season around in a way. I'm just looking back. After that reverse fixture, you were 17th in the table, so you'd climbed out of the relegation zone. What kind of happened to turn it around? Was it just you just decided, right, we need to get going again?
Again, I think it's one of them. Like I said, under Robinson has sort of taken 3 years. Yeah, in his 3 years, it's taken sort of 10 games to get going. I think the key moment for us was there were games we were playing well and grinding out results, and there were games we were playing well when we weren't. And then we lost to Swindon, who are obviously our biggest rivals at home. It's the first time they've beaten us in 19 years or something. So that was kind of like a real sort of kick in the teeth moment. And then we played Ipswich, Hull, and Blackpool. And on paper, going into them games, you're thinking these are 3 tough games, and we picked up 3 points. We drew all 3 games, and then we played you guys and got the win, and then it just started to snowball. Then I think we went 15 games unbeaten off the top of my head, something like that. So yeah, just like I said, it was just picking up that result that was important. We got the result, and then it just carried on then.
And the fact it was 4-0 as well is probably something that really installed a lot of confidence into your players for them to kick on. At the minute, you're sat in 11th in the table. You've played 35, won 15, drawn 8, lost 13. You scored 53 points so far this season, and you are, like I said, sat in 11th. You're only 3 points off the playoffs. It seems to be incredibly tight. There's kind of a mini league at the bottom going on with us at the minute, and one up top as well. Is promotion a realistic ambition again this season and challenging for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it needs to be. Like I said, obviously the start was poor, but we've been within touching distance of the playoffs probably since, when did we play you? Start of December. So probably since sort of end of December, early January, we've been within touching distance. I think the game against you guys tomorrow night is actually our game in hand. Because it was postponed earlier in the season, wasn't it? So I think if we win that game and Blackpool playing Peterborough, so if we win and Blackpool lose, we will go into the playoffs. So I think just psychologically, for us to then be in the playoffs, it's kind of it's given us that little edge. But yeah, that's the ambition. We still want to push for the playoffs.
Yeah, it seems to be just unbelievably tight at the minute because, like you say, we played Portsmouth a few weeks ago. They dropped down to 10th and they're back up into 7th. Ipswich as well. They were mid-table when they played us. They've now started climbing up again. Accrington Stanley were much higher when we played them and they've dropped off. Gillingham have picked up form as well. Everybody seems to be doing everything right. And at the bottom, it seems to be the same as well with our kind of little 6-team mini league. I want to talk about that reverse fixture. We were struck with quite a lot of injuries. The first thing I want to ask you is, I think you were allowed to go to that game. So were you there yourself?
I wasn't there, no.
Okay.
I think enough. It was that was season ticket holders only. I don't have a season ticket. But yeah, I think that was we only had 2 games that fans were allowed. And then obviously we went into lockdown again after that, I think, didn't we? So yeah.
Cool. So that reverse fixture, I assume you probably watched it or watched the highlights in some way. What did you make of us in that game? We were struck with a lot of injuries. We had Max Deitch, who is the same age as me, playing at centre back. He was in my school year, so that was kind of a nice moment for me. But we were rubbish in that game. The first half we played quite well, I seem to remember, or we were kind of a lot more resolute. And in the second half, the floodgates just opened. What happened?
Yeah, I think, like you said, first half, I think our confidence is still a little bit shot at the time. So I think it was one of them where we've had chances and we've just not taken them. And then second half, to be honest, I think the scoreline flattered us in the end. but it was one of them results. We need, no disrespect to you guys, but we needed to give somebody a bit of a beasting.
Yeah.
And that, that, like I said earlier, that gave our season a bit of a kick. And yeah, I think 4-0 in the end, wasn't it? So yeah, good performance in the end. Took a bit of time to get into it, but just that's what we needed. So
what did you make of us in that game? Did you think that maybe did you think these are going down, there is no way these will stay up, they are so unbelievably bad? Or do you think maybe that wasn't quite the full story, because like you say, the scoreline possibly flattered you a little bit?
Yeah, I think the scoreline flattered. I think, as you said, you had a lot of injuries. I write a preview going into games, so I sort of keep an eye on teams' injuries and stuff. And I can't remember how many you had off the top of my head, but it was a few key injuries, wasn't it? So yeah, that's going to play a part. And I think you, like I said, first half you gave a good account for yourself. We probably just edged it, but we didn't take our chances, and that was kind of the story for the season at the time for us anyway. But yeah, no, I mean, we've definitely played lesser teams than you guys this season. I definitely think there's teams that will struggle more than you. Obviously, you've made the decision to sack your manager or get rid of your manager, so that could be a turning point. It's worked for Burton, so it could happen.
There is an interesting debate going on, kind of, that I heard within our fan base that kind of said, because Burton sacked their manager a couple of weeks before we did, and there's kind of a debate that if we'd have done the same as them, would we now be in the position that Burton are in, where they almost look clear of relegation and are completely, climbed out of it. So it's definitely an interesting one. I want to ask about your recent form, how you've been playing in the last couple of weeks. Obviously, last time out, unless the BBC Sport website is somehow wrong, you lost 2-0 to Blackpool. Before that, you beat Doncaster 3-0. And then before that, you lost to Hull City 2-0. It seems to be, very up and down at the minute for Oxford. So tell us how you've been doing recently.
Yeah, so as I said, we had a sort of 16 game unbeaten run or something. And then so we played Swindon 3 weeks ago tomorrow. I think that's right, 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's 3 weeks. And that was a win. But before that, I think we'd drawn 3 or drawn 4. So yeah, it's been inconsistent, but we've only lost, I think, 4 from our last 21 or 22 league games. So, it's one of them. We had a 9-game winning run in the middle of that as well. So I think if you put a couple of those draws or even 1 or 2 defeats in that run, it doesn't seem as bad. I think the frustrating part at the minute is because teams around us are dropping points. So because we're dropping points as well, we're then not capitalising on the teams. We've had enough opportunities to push into the playoffs now. It's just not clicked for whatever reason. But yeah, so I think we just need to get a little run going again. It's as simple as that, really.
I think that's definitely how a lot of teams get promoted out. Definitely, certainly League One, League Two. They always seem to put these runs together throughout the season, and that ultimately usually brings success. Let's talk about who we should be looking out for as a threat on Tuesday night. It's Saturday then. I've got 4 players written down. I wouldn't be surprised if you turn around to me and said they're all injured, or they've all got COVID, or they're all out. So I've got Cameron Brannigan written down. I've got Matty Taylor written down. I've got Olamide, I don't know how to say that, Shadipo written down. And I've got Sam Winnell written down, who all seem to be attacking midfielder, striker, winger. Talk to us about those 4, and then if there's anyone else that you think we should be keeping an eye on as well.
Sorry, I'm just writing it down. Brannigan, Taylor, Winnell, and who's the other one? Shadipo, wasn't it?
Shadipo,
yeah. So Brannigan, he's been, I wouldn't say back to his best, but he missed 2 or 3 months with a really rare eye condition at the start, just after the start of the season. So he's struggled with fitness and everything, but he's come back now, and he's kind of just about hitting form. He needs a couple of goals and assists to be kind of where he was last season. But yeah, he controls the midfield. He can spray passes. He's one of them. He could get into any. I would argue he could get into any midfield in League One. and even a few championship midfields. Matty Taylor, yeah, he's our top goal scorer. His goals speak for themselves. I think he's got 13. Last season he had 17 in all competitions. So yeah, he's the danger man, but he's kind of gone through dry spells as well. So I think he went 12 games without a goal, and then he scored twice against Doncaster. So hopefully that's the start of another little scoring run. Shadipo as well. So he's on loan from QPR. Again, like Taylor, he had gone 10, 11 games without a goal. He's dangerous. It's hot and cold. We tend to rotate our wingers quite a lot. So, it's one of them. Sometimes he'll start and he won't be very good. Sometimes he'll come off the bench and he'll be electric, and vice versa. But yeah, even he's scored 10 or 11 goals this season. Taylor scored twice against you in the reverse, and Shadipo scored in the reverse as well. So yeah, they're the danger men. Winnall, I think he's been quite a disappointing signing. In truth, he's been unlucky with injuries. We signed him on a free, and it was kind of one of them. You're signing a 29, 30-year-old striker who's got good experience in the Football League and can get goals. But he's had an injury hit career, and it's not worked out for him. He scored, I think, 3. But yeah, he's not played a lot. He returned from injury at the weekend, so he could get some minutes. He's capable of scoring. But yeah, I wouldn't put him as one of our danger men, unfortunately. I wish he was. But yeah, the other 3 are definitely more to watch out for.
And before we get your prediction, you've been at the centre of some news in the last couple of weeks. You obviously were set to play Wigan a couple of weeks ago. The original game, I believe, was postponed. And then the game the day it was rearranged for, was that postponed again? And then you played again on the Sunday. And as our friend from Wigan Athletic, Katie Powell, says here, your floodlights set on fire. So it took you about 4 days or something to play one match. Talk us through that experience and what actually happened for some of our viewers that may not have even known that.
So to be honest, I can't even keep track of how many postponements and stuff we've had. I think the game against you guys was the only postponement we've had from a waterlogged pitch. The rest of them's been COVID and delays from when we played Accrington at the start of the season. The coach, the team coach, there's an alcohol in the air conditioning unit.
Oh, I heard about that.
So that's another. The game didn't get postponed or delayed, but that's another one of just how bizarre this season's been. It's just been a mad season. So Wigan, I can't remember if it was initially postponed. It was due to be played on the Saturday. The pitch was frozen, so we postponed it then to the Sunday. So we still played the game. We were 1-0 down at half time, or they scored just after half time. I can't quite remember now. But we were 1-0 down, and half time, one of the floodlights caught fire. They're doing the COVID vaccinations at the stadium as well. So I think that's off the top of my head, 5,000 people or something in the stadium or in and around the stadium. Everybody had to be evacuated. And then we won the game somehow, which was quite nice. But not just another distraction in how bizarre this season's been.
Yeah, I can imagine that would have been crazy. I remember seeing that the players had to come back out and warm up as well for the second half, which is just ridiculous. Something you don't really see. Just 2 more for me. The first one, this fixture, obviously, Michael Appleton with his quote a couple of years ago. For those of you that don't know, obviously Cobblers won League Two back in 2016 ahead of Oxford, who got promoted alongside us. Michael Appleton was Oxford manager at the time. Claimed that he was. That his Oxford team were the best in League Two. Obviously, we thought that we were the best team in League Two because we were the team that got the trophy. We then kind of took the mick a little bit about how you guys, I think, had a parade, even though you didn't actually win anything. So from our side, I don't think this is just kind of a local game. It's just an hour down the road. I think you probably agree that it's not so much a rivalry, but maybe there's a bit of history in it, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know if I speak for all Oxford fans, but I kind of see it as how I see Wycombe. It's a local game.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a rivalry. Obviously, you want to try and beat your local teams. We've got a horrendous record against you. I think the win when we played you earlier in the season, it was our first win in like 9 or something. So yeah, I don't think we've won at Sixfield since like 2013, 2014 or something like that. So yeah, you're one of our bogey teams. So we always want to try and get one up on you guys. But yeah, it's not rivalry. That's all.
No.
So.
No, we always seem to have a good game against each other, though. I think a couple of years ago we were in a right relegation fight in League Two, and I think we beat you on the last day or drew against you or something. That was back when Ivan Toney was still playing for us to stay up. And obviously we had that League Two season where we're both going for the title, and we've met a couple of times in League One since. Jake Tong is a Lincoln City fan, isn't happy about me slagging off Michael Happleton. Obviously Lincoln doing quite well, so Jake's a big fan of his. So let's finish it off. How do you think tomorrow night is going to go? What type of game are you expecting? And then let's have a score prediction from you, please.
I think it'll be a scrappy one. I know you guys have come under a bit of criticism for the pitch. I saw David Artel's comments after the Crew game.
Don't listen to him, mate.
No, we've got our own issues with him from earlier on in the season anyway. But that's another story. But yeah, so I think the pitch is going to play a part. We're a team that like to try and get it down, try and play football. So that could play a part. But then the flip side of that, when we played Swindon the other week, their pitch was atrocious and we still come away with the win. So I think we've just come off the back of a tough tough run of games, and we've next got Lincoln and Sunderland. So for us, I wouldn't say it's a must win, but because it's a game in hand, because we've got a couple of tough fixtures as well, 3 points would be hugely important. And like I said, because it's a game in hand, if results go our way, it could put us could put us into the playoffs. So just psychologically going into the game against Lincoln, being in the playoffs, it kind of gives us a bit of an edge then. Yeah, so I think scrappy game. I think we'll nick it. I've done a preview and I can't remember what I predicted now. I think I said 2-0, so I'm going to have to stick with 2-0. I'm going to stick with that.
Good stuff. I think that's also an interesting one. You mentioned you guys going for the playoffs. I think everybody that we play between now and the end of the season will be playing for something, whether it's relegation or promotion. Whereas played Crew on Saturday, who was kind of 14th. They were like 15 points clear of relegation and 9 points off the playoffs or something. So there was a bit of a nothing game for them, and they were kind of already on the beach. So it's going to be interesting. I think, especially as you guys obviously going for those playoff places, and we obviously need to fight for our lives. That's pretty much all I've got for you. Thank you very much for joining us, Dale. If you just want to tell us about some of the work you do and where we can find it.
Yeah, so I just write part-time. So I write for 2 sites. One is Vital Oxford. It's a vital network, and they've got like a site for most of the Football League clubs and Premier League clubs, actually. So yeah, all 92. So yeah, I cover Oxford United for them. And then I also write for Last Word on Football, which it's a Canadian site, but they've got a big soccer following. So I write for them. So I cover obviously Oxford United for them and other things as well. But yeah, just do it as a bit of a hobby really, and I've got into it. Especially being away from games as well has kind of helped me feel a bit more connected to it, which is quite nice. So yeah, that's what I do.
Good stuff. Well, I'm sure I'll put Dale's Twitter in the description. You can go and have a look at the stuff he does on his profile and stuff. I just want to finish off by saying thank you very much to our wonderful Patreon supporters, Luke NTFC, Jason Rodhouse, Adam Page, Mike Fuller, Dan Wiseman. You all know who you are. Those of you that are in our hospitality tier, so that is Adam Page, Luke NTFC, Jason Rodhouse. Your mugs are here, my friends. They're all here, ready, boxed up. So they'll be delivered out to you in the next couple of days. This is what they look like. So if you want one of these, I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, if you want one of these, I may even take some exclusive orders. So if you just want to pay a one-off rather than a monthly Patreon thing, then we can sort that out if people are interested in that. So yeah, the mugs are on your way. And if you do want to support us on Patreon and guarantee yourself a mug, hit the link in the description and have a look at our hospitality tier. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody who's joined us. Thank you very much to Dale for coming on. Good luck to Oxford for the rest of the season, apart from tomorrow night, of course. Thank you very much to everyone who's watching this live, and if you're watching it back as a video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up down below. That will set off the YouTube algorithm as best as we can and get as many people viewing as we can. So yeah, thanks very much to everyone who's watched us. Make sure to go and check out our partners Fan Hub as well. The app is now available to download from the App Store, so if you haven't done that already, go and do that, and keep an eye on our Twitter. We'll be kind of releasing some codes to get you guys early access to that as well. So that's it. That's all the YouTube stuff out the way. Please make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you very much again to Dale, and until next time, I will see you all later. Bye bye.